Blog Talk Radio.
This episode of Video Marketing Madness is made possible by Member Deliver. Member Deliver is the ridiculously easy way to create a membership site in literally just the touch of a couple buttons. And I can absolutely attest to that because I tried it yesterday. So check it out right now. If you want to make a membership site and start making recurring income or deliver your products nice and easy or even drip feed them, check it out right now at raisebonuses.com/memberdeliver. And on today's episode, we have a very special guest. We have Will Pettet. Will is actually my partner on a new project, and we're going to talk about video ranking for 2015 and ranking websites as well, using some kind of new ideas. So we'll be checking that out today.
Oh, that sounds good. Sounds
Yep.
like a good show.
He's Ray the video guy, yeah, Ray the video guy. His skill is where it's at, even if he's a little fat. He's filled with video expertise and has so much knowledge that you need. His YouTube ninja tricks can make your marketing so sick. He's Ray the video guy, yeah, Ray the video guy.
It's the online marketing radio show, Video Marketing Madness with Ray the Video Guy, and I'm Steve Sleeper. You can like our Facebook page at facebook.com/Video Marketing Madness. Get plenty of useful tips and news of the week, and Ray's Facebook Mastermind group is groups/online video marketers. Get views for videos and questions answered. We're live Wednesdays at 2 p.m. Eastern. You can join the conversation at 818-369-1423. Ray's video marketing tip of the week coming up at the end of the show. Our guest today is Will I Am, and he's going to talk about video, all the stuff him and Ray are working on video rankings. Ray and Will today.
Yes, that's right.
How's it going, Will?
Fantastic. Thanks for having me out, you guys. I would lie. I'd be lying if I said I was a huge fan. I actually have not listened to your show in a while, but I do love that song. That was awesome. That was a really good song.
Yes. That would be, as we've mentioned on the show before, courtesy of Fiverr. $5.
$5.
And they not only made the song, they wrote the song too. So
I'm surprised you don't have it narrated by Morgan Freeman.
That would be kind of cool. They do have the fake Morgan Freeman guy on there. We should do a few fake documentary things. You know, it's funny. I've heard the fake Morgan Freeman guy on national radio shows doing stuff. Doing fake documentary type things.
He's good.
He is. He's getting around.
I'm going to do a Teespring shirt that says this shirt was narrated by Morgan Freeman.
So. Nice. Oh, that'll probably kill too.
Yeah, but it's too late. Somebody else is going to steal it, like everything in the internet marketing space.
You know what? As I always say, who cares? How many bazillion different versions of, Obama can't ban these guns with arrows pointing towards your arms are out there? I mean, there's 800,000 different people that have made shirts, and they always sell. So
that's true. Where can we buy? Do you have an affiliate link for that?
For which one? The gun?
For your guns and for your
No, I don't think they have that, and I wish they did, because I was thinking about that one day. You think about how big the whole Teespring thing has gotten, and I sat there and thought, I waste so much time if I'm going to do Teespring creating the shirts or finding somebody that can create shirts or buying designs. Wouldn't it be great if you could just have an affiliate program on it, and I could just sell your shirt that you've already designed for you?
Absolutely.
I don't know why they don't have that, and I was thinking about that one day, and somebody's going to call and say, they do, moron, but as far as I can tell, they don't, and I wish they did. I think that would be great.
Well, if somebody actually does do the research and calls up and says they do, moron, you just harness the power of crowdsourcing, my friend.
That's right.
You just asked your radio listeners to perform a task to find information for you.
Isn't
that beautiful?
Which is what we're going to talk about today later as well.
That's right. Oh, are we not going there right now?
For those in the radio,
we got to do news of the week first.
Oh, okay.
For those outside of the radio business, that's called a segue.
A segue or a teaser.
Or a teaser, yes.
Our teaser and news of the week. Okay, this, just hit my microphone with my glasses. Sorry.
That's all right.
This is from Bloomberg.
Ah, yes.
Bloomberg.com. U.S. Federal Communications Commission Chairman Tom Wheeler said he will propose utility-style rules to ensure Internet service providers don't interfere with subscribers' web traffic.
You know, oh, man, this is such a big issue and one we all need to be thinking about because there's two things at work here. They're playing off of the, such and such company can just give more bandwidth to this company and not to you, and then you'll be destroyed and you'll be out of business. But the problem is that hasn't happened. At least not in any sort of mass way. Even a company like Netflix, which is one of the people they talk about, they just had to pay more to get more bandwidth. And I think that's what is probably going to happen for most people. But quite honestly, I don't want the government controlling all of the Internet. One of the beauties of the Internet is it's been completely open and free. And if they control that the way they control the airwaves, think about the airwaves. You can't say this. You can't do this. You can't sell this. You really want the government in charge of our entire Internet? I don't think so. I don't know. That's a tough sell.
And the reason the FCC was brought into existence was that the radio waves were just getting trounced on in the 20s. You had 5 people in one market on 960 AM, and it was just, and it was just getting nuts. So they had to bring some order to it. But that's not, those rules don't apply to the Internet. Well, anyhow, Wheeler wrote on Wednesday, the Internet must be fast, fair, and open.
And it's not now? I mean, honestly, it's not fast, fair, and open right now? Because guess what? A couple years ago, I had nothing, and I didn't have to go through any government entity or anything else to build what I've built in the last couple of years. That's pretty darn open. Fast, maybe that's an issue where I live, but in most places, you can buy fast Internet. I don't.
Well, as long as you don't live in the middle of the desert.
Right. And even there, it's getting better. I got a thing for satellite the other day, and they said they can do up to 20 megs now.
Oh.
So, there you go.
It's just controlling. It's just controlling the people's voice. I mean, that's why I'm a big fan of people power, as you'll see later on in the show when I talk about how to utilize people to influence your rankings. It's the same thing here that I can't remember the study I was reading the other day. I was researching consumer search behavior. It's a favorite pastime of mine. And yes, I have no life. And as I was going through the studies, it was saying that more and more people trust the Internet over traditional media outlets.
Oh, yeah.
Because you have that freedom. You're able to hear the little guy's voice or the little woman's voice. You're able to get real feedback. And again, that's why reviews are so important in the buying decision. People trust their peers. They want to know what others have had success or failure or issues with a company. And so to be able to control that, think about that. If larger agencies were able to control what was being presented online, then you would have huge corporations able to do whatever they want and not have any fear of reputation issues, backlash. I mean, it would be quite scary. Where do you go?
And don't get me wrong, I somewhat get the idea behind why they're trying to do this, but I don't think it's necessary. I think it's going to cause more harm than good. And I know there's a lot of people that'll disagree with me on that and take the other opposite stance on that, but I don't see anything good coming out of the government having control over that.
Well, and that's what Michael Glover, Senior VP at Verizon, said. They can address harmful behavior without taking this radical step. Mm-hmm. It's counterproductive because heavy regulation of the Internet will create uncertainty and chill investments. And by the way, Wheeler never did say how the whole Netflix and streaming thing would be handled. He didn't address that.
And here's there was an example used the other day, and one of the senators stood up there and held up an old rotary phone and said, "This is what we had from the early 1900s all the way up till about the 90s or whenever. I don't remember exactly when they started to deregulate some of the phone stuff." And then he held up an iPhone in the other hand. "This is what's been made since we opened this up."
Mm-hmm.
50, 60, 70 years, this is what you were stuck with. No innovation for years and decades. And then in a short period of time, you move all the way to complete pocket computers that you can talk to people anywhere while you're walking through the middle of the street. I mean, it's a perfect example of when government regulates things stagnate. Mm-hmm. And that's exactly what happened.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Well, Ray, the video guy, is going to change all that.
I don't know. I don't know how I'm going to change all that, but
you put on your superhero outfit, run around the street.
Well, when Reagan
yelling macaroni.
When Reagan got rid of the fairness doctrine in the late '80s, it saved AM radio for the time being. Then.
It still has. I mean,
AM radio's having a heck of a time now. I mean, Rush Limbaugh doesn't have the listeners he used to have because the listeners are trending older. But it changed things for 20 years. I mean, it made AM radio viable. And not that AM radio's not viable. They're just kind of trying to decide what they're going to do with it. It just doesn't have the listeners it used to. I mean, WLS in Chicago used to have a 5 or 6 share. It's got a 1 share now. That's one of the top stations. Yeah. It's just that audience is getting older, and there's a lot more choices. I mean, that's based for iTunes.
I don't even think it's so much choices. I think it's that most people are moving towards the internet now and grabbing internet radio, and you can see a lot of these big names and these people that are in that industry are actually moving themselves to the internet, which, like the people or hate the people, you've got to love what they're doing. Whether you like what they say, what they're building is incredible. And, some of these online outlets, you've got people that, and here's the thing about openness, okay? Can you imagine, somebody creating, let's say, their own version of NBC before the internet? It'd be impossible to do unless you had billions of dollars and millions of people working at it and all sorts of, it'd be very, very hard to do.
And now Frankie McDonald has his own TV station.
Well, and so many people do. You look at the UFC, the WWE, Glenn Beck, all these different people, Netflix, Hulu. They've built their own. Netflix brings in more money than HBO does.
Mm-hmm.
And it probably brings in, and I'm not positive, that's what they always compare it to because they're kind of premium type things, but they probably bring in more money than NBC does, I would bet, or at least pretty darn close. They got to be competitive with that many subscribers paying each month. So to me, it's crazy to think that with the government regulating this stuff, that things would be better than what we've had over the last 10 years. So that's just my opinion, and like it or hate it.
No, I hear you. I don't disagree.
Hate mail can go to Ray the Video Guy at Twitter. So there you go.
Yeah, he never checks his Twitter account. So.
That's right.
Okay, this comes from Search Engine Watch. Super Bowl recap. Budweiser scores big on YouTube. Tom Brady dominates Google search.
Yeah, by the way, the Super Bowl, I saw a thing on NBC yesterday when I was watching the rerun of The Apprentice. The most watched television show in the history of TV was this past Super Bowl.
This past one, huh?
Yep.
Budweiser's puppy ad was the lead on YouTube, followed by Bud Light's real-life Pac-Man, and Kim Kardashian's self-deprecating ad for T-Mobile.
I am happy to say I did not see any of those.
When that commercial was on, my wife said, "She has got the biggest butt."
You cannot lie.
Let's see, BMW's i3's newfangled idea, Snickers, the Brady Bunch.
I did see some of the i3 thing. That actually was kind of interesting. Actually, I liked that.
And then, the i3 was cool, I thought. And then people went to Google with questions related to the ads, like who is the girl in the Toyota Super Bowl commercial? Who is the voice on the Carnival Cruise commercial? And then Tom Brady, Marshawn Lynch. I'm only here so I won't get fined. I'm just here so I won't get fined. And Russell Wilson were the top 3 search players before, during, and after the game.
And apparently there was a lot of controversy about a nationwide ad, which I looked up and see afterwards. Yeah. And I didn't quite understand the controversy about it. I understand some people were just saying, well, gee, everything was happy and upbeat, and then all of a sudden you had that, and it was a big downer. And I can kind of see that, but
moms didn't like it. It was a mom thing. They really hated it.
Well, they hated it because it's something that they need to pay attention to. Really.
Oh, I know.
I don't think it's that big of a deal, but hey.
Oh, I'm just saying. I didn't say I didn't like it. I looked at it and went, "Wow, that's powerful." And then went on Facebook after the game, and there was a lot of hate.
Yeah, there was a lot of backlash.
Yeah. RealSEO.com. By 2019, 72% of mobile traffic will be video content. This according to Cisco. Okay, so it's 55% of total mobile traffic in 2014, but it will increase 13-fold between now and 2019. This is a Cisco study. Cisco predicts mobile video content has significantly higher bit rates than other types of mobile content, so will generate much of the mobile traffic growth from now till 2019. By 2019, 5.2 billion people, that's 69% of the global population, are expected to be mobile users. And, that's going to probably be in a lot of third world countries, I'm sure.
Right.
Sure. In fact, more likely because, a lot of those countries, they don't have the infrastructure to have, a location where you can put a desk and a desktop. So they're actually purposely turning to mobile for those purposes.
Smartphone will be the overwhelmingly mobile phone of choice with 4.6 million users compared to 3.1 billion who choose to use feature phones.
They still make those, huh?
Monthly global mobile data traffic will surpass 24.3 exabytes. An exabyte equals 1 followed by 18 zeros, bytes.
Wow.
Bytes. Yeah, bytes. I had to count the zeros. Yeah, so amazing. I mean, I don't know what that is, but I know it's big.
Sounds big.
Yes.
Everyone will have a hard drive that big in about 2 years, I'm sure, but it sounds big now.
Yeah. Also from Bloomberg.com, Uber faces an ever-growing cast of adversaries that includes dubious regulators, litigious drivers, hostile members of the press, and some well-funded rivals.
Yeah, I have to say I don't think Uber is long for this world.
Yeah, I think the litigious part of it's going to be a problem. Well,
I think they'll be regulated out of business, and the reason I say that is because right now the cab companies and the limousine companies in most states are extremely regulated.
Yes.
And the fact that these guys can just drive in and, you can do whatever you want, it's not going to be allowed to stand. They're going to figure out a way to shut that down. I mean, you go to you realize it's so regulated. When I lived in Connecticut, okay, you could not have a limousine company and decide what it costs to rent a limousine. The state told you the exact amount you were allowed to charge, and you couldn't charge a penny more or a penny less.
Yeah, right. Now, why is the story on Video Marketing Madness, the online marketing radio show? Well, it's because Google is looking to get in that game. So
Ah, well, of course they are. They're getting into a lot of games over the last few weeks, aren't they?
Yeah. And by the way, I noticed a lot of my old banking buddies back from when I was in the bank marketing business. I still keep up with all my friends on Twitter, and they use Uber all the time.
Yeah, I know a lot of people talking about how they use it all the time.
I mean, they use it all the time. My buddy Brian was talking about how some Indian guy slid down a snowbank in Boston. Oh, he looked me very much.
It wasn't last week when we had the show. Wasn't she using Uber when they were going to the NASA thing?
Mm-hmm. A couple weeks ago, Melissa. What was her last name?
But yeah, I remember that.
Anyhow,
she was actually on this very program. We had somebody in an Uber taxi, or I don't know if you call it taxi, on an Uber ride while she was on the show. So,
well, I guess Google Ventures invested $258 million in Uber in August of 2013. Yeah, and it was its largest investment deal ever. And then they put some more money into it, but now there are signs they're going to be competitors. Google is preparing to offer its own ride-hailing service, most likely in conjunction with its long-in-development driverless car project.
Those are awesome.
There we go.
Crazy, man. Crazy.
No, it's actually smart if you think about it. I don't know when it's appropriate to interject thoughts or
whenever.
into...
Whenever. Go ahead and interrupt anytime Ray does.
So, okay. I'm just going to interrupt you from now on, Ray.
Okay.
But
Ray too, yeah.
If you think about their business model in gathering data, I mean that's how they make money, is by monetizing data. So the more information they can get about their community, the people who are searching and using their services, the more opportunities they have to make money. Mm-hmm. So they have
I'm sure the bottom of the screen will have little teeny tiny writing that says, "We track everywhere that you go."
Yes,
that's right. I mean, you're going to wear their. I mean, the glass hasn't made a big enough splash yet, but you think about the mobile devices, the phones. If they've got Nest, the smart home. So I mean, imagine that. Imagine going home, and you're able to have Google have that smart home tell you when your furnace is out, when you need appliance repair person, and then it can say, here's the top 3 appliance repair people in your area. Mm-hmm. And those top 3 people are paying for ads to be able to be ran inside your smart home. I mean, the opportunities to monetize that data is unbelievable.
You know, we're switching to all of those LED light bulbs now, and they're Wi-Fi enabled.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
The light bulbs themselves are Wi-Fi enabled, so you can actually control them with your phone.
Get out of here.
No, it's true. Which is why, you know, somebody was talking about that yesterday.
Where have I been? Why did I not know this?
You're
playing with the old phones, radio stuff.
Yeah.
But no, if you head to Home Depot or Best Buy, you can see them. You can see they've got little displays of them and stuff. You know, some of them can change color, temperature. Just all sorts of cool things. You know, you have to do a lot of research, though, because if you think about how many light bulbs are in your house, you really don't want to make a mistake with a light bulb that costs a lot more and is going to last you 10 to 30 years.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, true.
So you have to really decide what you want and how you're going to do it, because you don't want to get halfway through and realize you wish you had picked a different type and you know, have to start over, or half your house is controlled, half it's not, you know, whatever it happens to be. So it takes a lot more choice.
You know, I've always taken pride in being a Luddite, you know, but after getting this HD TV, I don't know, maybe I should not take pride in that anymore.
Well, you don't want to be obsoleted.
I'm getting there. Were you going to say something, Will? I'm sorry.
No, I'm just enjoying the conversation here.
Okay.
What I was just going to say is, if you watch what Google's doing, what companies they're investing in, you can see a trend of where they're going. And if you understand their mission, you know, why they're in business, what they're about, I mean, it's really going to prepare you as a marketer for the future if being in the marketing space is what you truly enjoy and want to be in. The beautiful thing about this business is it's always changing. So that's something that you can count on. And if you're able to track and keep data on everything that you do, you're going to be prepared and you're going to be able to see the impact these trends are having. So watching Google and their investments is one of the things that we do.
Yep, yeah, absolutely. It's interesting because it seems every week we've got some new area they're taking over.
Yeah. I mean, soon I would become buddies with any guy out there that's named John Connor. I'm just saying. Oh, your name's John Connor? Hey, can we be best friends? Let me find you on Facebook. What's your mom's name?
Yeah, what's your mom's name? Happy to be back. Webandtext.com. Amazon opens first college retail location at Purdue University. Yeah, they just opened it up. It's fully staffed with employees at the Kroc Leadership Center. Now students can order textbooks and other products at Purdue.amazon.com. Pick them up in a day.
Very smart.
All they have to do is select Amazon at Purdue as the shipping address.
Do you think Amazon could take a 5-minute break and make their web services remotely look nice or make them easy to use instead? Just like 5 minutes and kind of do that. I would really appreciate that.
I think you should call him up. I mean, for heaven's sakes, it's Ray the video guy.
Give Jeff a call. Jeff, it's Ray the video guy. What the hell's wrong with you?
I'm sure.
Next time you go out to book any type of reservations at a restaurant, use that. You'll be surprised if you pretend that they should know who you are. The kind of treatment you get.
There used to be a baseball player named Keith Lockhart, and he used to go to Boston, and he would go to check in at a restaurant or a hotel, and people would go nuts, and he couldn't figure out why. Keith Lockhart?
I remember him.
Oh, Keith Lockhart. And he'd get treated like a king, and he's like, man, they really love their baseball out here. Well, of course, Keith Lockhart was the conductor of the Boston Pops.
Oh, okay. Well, I remember the athlete, not the Boston Pops. But
so he used to get all this treated like a king everywhere he went, and he couldn't figure out why for the longest time. But
my dad used to go to restaurants. And if it was really packed and he didn't have a reservation, he'd just walk up and say, I'm here for my 7 o'clock reservation. Ed Sleeper.
Sausage King of Chicago.
Ed Sleeper. You don't have it? I called it in a couple of weeks ago.
That does work for hotels. Like I've used that quite a bit when we go to Vegas. We don't even book reservations. I go, reservation for Pettet? They're like, I'm sorry, sir, I don't have you. What? I can't believe you don't have me here.
Do you know who I am?
Yeah. You just gotta, you gotta have fun with life.
Yeah. Okay, this comes from BloombergView.com, and this kind of tags on to the Amazon story. I guess Amazon's looking to buy a bunch of the Radio Shack stores. Like Radio Shack would sell a bunch of stores to them and then shut down the rest of them.
We'd be willing to sell you a few of them. Why not, right?
Yeah.
Radio Shack is the strangest business in the history of America, I think. The fact that those clowns still exist in any way, shape, or form is absolutely baffling and puzzling, and to me only proves that Satan does exist.
Oh, come on.
Oh, so you don't like them?
That is correct.
I used to buy a lot. Well, they don't have anything anymore. That's the problem.
Well, no, they've got a ton of stuff now, but they get the same stuff that's at Walmart now.
Yeah, right.
Twice the price.
It used to be you could go in there and get stuff you couldn't find anywhere else.
Exactly, and that's when they were pretty good. I'd go in there and buy transistors or circuit boards and things like that. But
that's the point, though, right? It's Walmart has the stuff. So now Amazon's competing with Walmart. So let's buy a store that's unique that people still go to. And you're absolutely right. How the heck are they still in business? Maybe that's the reason why Amazon's considering acquiring them.
Yeah.
Because they're unique. They do have eyeballs.
They want to.
They've got location and shelf space is all it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, they want to showcase their hardware in the stores, kind of like Apple did.
Mm.
Makes sense. I mean, it hasn't worked out so well for Microsoft, but you know.
No, and that I didn't mention that because this article was kind of down on Microsoft, and Lord knows I don't want to say anything bad about Microsoft.
They're listening.
Let's see. Finally, from RealSEO.com, how many views does a YouTube video get on average? And these are by categories.
Oh, I would love to. Can we make a game out of this?
Okay. Yeah, sure.
Pick a category.
How to and style.
How to and style. The average video. Well, the average good video, if it's a good one, is probably still going to be niche and probably would only get a few hundred. But I'm going to guess, because there's probably so many with 0 and 1, that it's probably something silly like 50.
I'm going to guess 1,000.
8,000.
Wow, the average has 8,000.
That's what it says.
Holy cow! All right, we're bad at this game.
Only one of us is bad at this game.
Yeah. You were only off by 80%.
but he has a proper amount of zeros after.
You did that. Yeah. You said 1,000 at least.
People and blogs. That's probably going to be higher, because that's probably where you're going to get a lot of your multi-million view ones. So, but there's also probably 8 bazillion of those that are crappy too. So I'm going to go with around the 10,000 mark on that.
I'm going to go with 500.
2,300.
Oh, it's like right in between, kind of.
Entertainment.
High.
Well, yeah, that's another one I think that could go either way, just because there's so much crap that's going to be under entertainment. I'm going to say average. I'm going to stick with 10,000 again.
I'm going to say 1,000.
Okay, 9,800. Ray.
Raven.
Now gaming, and I'm going to give you a hint. I'm surprised it's so low, but take a guess.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you why it's low. Because although they're some of the biggest guys on YouTube with millions and millions of views are on there, everybody and their brother that plays any video game it's up there.
Yeah.
So, but I'm still going to give it a high one. I'm going to say 23,000.
I'm going to go with 1,000 because it just seems right.
3,000.
Wow. So that's a lot. Now wait, do they have the automobile one?
Yeah.
I want to play that one, because I bet you this one's shocking, and I'm going to say why afterwards.
Okay.
But I'm going to guess 2,000 on that one.
Okay. Will?
I'm going to say 1,001.
It's like the price is right here.
Oh, that's a way to stretch out.
$1.
5,600.
5,600. Now you know why I figured it would be a little higher. Is because half the people that upload something to YouTube don't even realize there's a category section, and it defaults to autos because it's the first one.
Education.
Okay, this is an interesting one, because there's actual education on there, but also all of us marketers that are good with YouTube are often using the education one.
True.
500.
So I'm going to guess higher on that one. I'm going to go with the 20,000 mark on that one.
4,800.
Wow.
And
I'm like so close. I'm only like 2 off on every single answer.
Yeah, so close. Travel and events.
That's 10,000.
1,000.
3,000.
Bastard. I should have gone with 1,000.
Rat bastard. Pets and animals. Speaking of rats.
Oh, wow.
10,000.
Yeah, this one, I'm going to go 20,000.
6,500.
6,500. Oh, wow.
Science and tech.
1.
Yeah. I was going to say 50. No, but you know what? I bet you a lot of the open box ones fall into that category though. So those are huge.
Yeah.
But I'm still only going to go with about 500.
Oh, we're tied.
Oh, did we both sit?
6,600.
Wow.
And by the way, all the stories are posted on the fan page, facebook.com/video marketing madness. What's the name of the show? I forgot momentarily. You can they talk a lot about how they came up with the averages. They talk about the highs and the lows, and then
sure, yeah, and I'm willing to bet that the highs in the technology are because of all the iPhone open box videos and things like that are very popular. So, and I bet you the video game stuff falls into there sometimes as well with the technology part.
Yeah.
So,
you got any stories? Right?
No. I'm good.
Okay.
It's good stuff.
Yeah.
And now for something completely different.
Yes, and now for something completely different. As mentioned at the top of the show, we have brought in a very special guest by the name of one Will Pettet, who, if you've been listening for a long time, he's been on the show before. So he is a two-timer, and his wife doesn't know it.
You're a two-timer, Will. I think now. Let's see who else. Andres Delaga has been on the show before, and Tammy has been on the show.
Well, no, we've had quite a few. Tony has been a two-timer.
Tony.
Yeah, so we had a few two-timers, and I think Anton was a two-timer as well.
Anton was, yeah, that's right. Okay.
We've had a few, but so Will.
Hey, Will, welcome back, and now here's Ray.
That's right. What we're going to talk about today is something really interesting, and actually we did a show about something related to this a few weeks back, actually a few months back now, and this has to do with what you and I tend to refer to as crowdsourcing crowd searching. And can you tell everybody what we're talking about when we say crowd search? Because I've been using the term a lot, and I bet you there's a lot of people shaking their head and going, or nodding their head like and what the heck is that? So tell us a little bit about what crowd searching actually is.
I think I would like to coin a better phrase and call it people power.
People power. Power to the people.
Power to the people. Because really, people are the key ingredient to influencing the search engines, your search rankings, everything. Everything hangs on what people are doing and how they're doing it. So when you talk about crowd searching, crowdsourcing, really what you're talking about is utilizing people and having them perform certain things, certain behaviors, to influence the signals in these search engines.
And to kind of clarify that for those of you who remember in last year when we were talking a lot about video ranking, one of the things we talked about was a kind of what would you call it, maybe like the baby steps towards this, kind of the first step, which was, going to a microsite and, paying people 5 cents to search for your video and click on it, that kind of a thing. And it was very, very effective, and it still is. But, as time has progressed over the last year, you especially have worked extremely hard to take this to, I don't want to say another level, but probably many levels above this.
Absolutely.
So how has this changed in as little as the last year? And maybe it hasn't changed. We probably just discovered more.
It definitely has changed because that's something we can always count on is Google, YouTube, and all the other channels changing, updating their algorithms to provide you with the most relevant information at the speed of light. So as more information is being discovered, more things are being posted, the algorithms have to update. They have to spider. They have to crawl. They have to catalog and categorize information in order to provide that to you. Because if they don't provide you relevant results, you're going to go elsewhere. You're going to go to another search engine, and they don't want to lose their market share. So change is always constant, and it's great because those of us who are true marketers, who've been in this industry, who've put the time, the sacrifice, the resources to build our data centers, I mean, we're always going to be ahead of the curve. So over the last 6 months, 7 months, I've been working on figuring out why things have changed, specifically in the auto-suggestion. So as you start typing in phrases, you would have suggestions pull up, and it was quite easy for about 3 years prior to influence the auto-suggest to get your brand to show up or any type of phrase. So like every good thing, as soon as it becomes mainstream, the search engine gods get a hold of it and they make corrections. Well, in our situation at the time, with video marketing, with auto-suggest, it became mainstream and people started producing products. They started talking about it more, and Google reset the clock. They wiped the slate clean and only provided phrases that had historical data, phrases that have been trusted and vetted out by the search engines. So as I went through, I realized that a lot of the things we do as marketers in using people and in using any type of tactic, there's a pattern. Do this, do that, and the results here. Google has, and the other channels, they have some of the smartest people in the world working for them.
Yeah, they're not dumb.
No. So to think that, the average Joe, the average agency can outwit and outsmart them is kind of silly. The only way to fight fire with fire is to have enough data, is to have enough case studies, enough examples, enough campaigns that you've personally watched, that you've kept track of, all the variables, all the possibilities, and to continue to run test campaigns and to track and measure those results. So that's what I've done. I have over 4,000 campaigns, data on over 4,000 campaigns, videos, autocompletes, websites, and I've found about 92% of the variables that are influencing factors, ranking influencing factors. So what we've been doing lately, and specifically with Ray on video marketing, is how do we take people? The last 5 years of my life have been devoted to stop gaming the system with manufacturing links and social signals and content and website code. Create a proper foundation, but use real people, because that's what they're watching. That's what they're monitoring. That's what they're monetizing, is user behavior. Use and mimic consumer behavior and make you the logical choice. So with video marketing, it's the same concept. If you have your channel set up properly, like you teach, Ray, and if you have your video optimized properly, then the only ingredient that you're missing is activity, is buzz. People searching in different ways, people finding, consuming in an unnatural way. Patterns are where you can get in trouble. So
right, and I think the big thing that is, when they sit there and they see, all of a sudden out of nowhere for whatever random reason, and sometimes these things do happen naturally, but all of a sudden, dozens and dozens of people are searching for one specific thing, and the only thing they're clicking on is that one link every single time. Obviously a pattern emerges there very quickly, and they say, yeah, that seems a little strange that, in the last month, 5 people have searched, and yet today 1,000 people searched, and they all immediately clicked on the exact same thing when they searched. It certainly can cause some issues there automatically.
Yeah, and the great thing about, a majority of the community in the internet marketing space is we've kind of developed this mindset of being just really technical, engineers of how many links, how many, people, what specific keywords and all that kind of stuff. And if you take a step back, and it's funny that you're starting to now see a little bit of conversation happening online about using people. It's starting to be accepted a little bit more. when you look at the point, the end result of engaging content, when people say, write content that's engaging, well, the end result of that is people spending time reading, copying, clicking, pasting, sharing. That's the end result. That's what matters, not the content. When you get down to and strip it all apart and really look at it, analyze it, was it relevant with the phrases people were searching, and when they found the information, did they hang out and consume it? Did they share it? Those are the major signals that are the major ranking factors. It's not my idea or hypothesis. I mean, this is theory. It's not fact yet, but I have enough campaigns to have this as a theory now. So that's it. That's what you guys need to realize, is it's not, producing content once per week or 10 times a day. It's all about people.
And what does that mean for some of the traditional things that we've always thought were great for SEO, like backlinks and things of that nature?
So I haven't been buying or creating any type of backlinks for the past 3 or 4 years now. And all of our clients are first page, in Google being Yahoo. We found a way that Google actually verifies the authority. There's a process in which when buzz is created that Google will actually bounce your website to page 1 for related phrases. And during that time, when your website is on page 1, Google allows 1 to 5 searchers to view it, which is an impression. And if they click, it validates the authority. So if I'm trying to rank for penis enlargement, I know that's a product Ray's going into, then other related phrases to that keyword, Google's going to bounce our website. And if we get clicks, it validates the authority, the buzz that's being created. If they do not click during that time, then Google continues to bounce your website to the first page in order to find what phrases people will see your website and click on. That's their way of validating the buzz that's being created, and then further how they're going to now categorize your website. Which category should it be in?
That's how Ray dominates penis enlargement?
That's how he dominates it.
I see. I just wanted to interject that. I know I've been quiet so far.
Well, the one thing you can always count on whenever I'm on a show is that I will be unprofessional.
Well, I find that there's 2 words. There's a number of words that always make me laugh, but penis and enlargement goes to the heart of my sophomoric nature.
What a shock, right?
Yeah. And now back to Richard.
So when you look at ranking videos, everyone has been talking about for the past year, Ray, if you correct me if I'm wrong, you're the expert here, but, it's hard. Man, now we've got penis enlargements, and anyway, I get my head out, okay.
Thank you.
But it's difficult.
Because I was going to interrupt again. But
yes, I know. I could just spider sense of tingling. But it's difficult. It's challenging. And then everyone's, have left the SEO like, SEO is tough. It's horrible. Let's get on Facebook, right? And then all these courses started coming out for Facebook marketing, and guess what? Then Facebook changes. But meanwhile, there's still a huge need and an amazing opportunity to be ranking in the search engines. Most businesses, their mindset is that we need to be in Google. There's still value there. Google has 6% of the search traffic?
I believe so. It might even be higher than that now.
And Google is known, when you look at all the consumer studies, Google is known as the search engine for information. So people go there for 2 primary reasons. One is to research out a brand. Some way they've stumbled across the brand, they go to Google to vet out the brand. Number 2 is to get answers to questions that they're having. Well, now you see as mobile's starting to increase and grow and video is becoming more and more popular, that people are now consuming the video information. And so YouTube's still going to be a great place for entertainment and for information. So you want to be able to rank your videos in both places. So I don't know what else to say about that, right?
Well, you know, and I agree with all of that, and I think that's fantastic because, you know, the one thing we have seen is that the traditional things aren't getting it by anymore. You know, in the old days, it was very easy. Then we found other ways to make it still kind of easy. And now it's gotten a little bit tougher again, but we've kind of found a way to more naturally get what works, and we're doing it pretty quickly these days, I think. You know, in some cases just as fast as we used to, using some of these it's much more complex stuff that we're doing, but it's also a little less scammy type stuff, you know, whereas before it was, you could build a formula pretty easily, but, you know, it was definitely not natural in any way, shape, or form. It was, you know, things like buy a bunch of backlinks at Fiverr, buy some views at Fiverr, and ping the heck out of it, you know, that kind of a thing. And that worked for quite a while, and it worked very, very well, and it made us a lot of money. But, you know, you knew you were cheating the system, and you knew that eventually they were going to figure it out and realize that that's what you were doing, and of course they did. But I think with this, you know, it's a much more natural thing. It's not something that, you know, is really cheating the system like it used to be. I mean, yeah, we're paying people to search and to check out our content, but we're doing it for a variety of reasons, and we're actually getting some feedback out of that as well, which makes it even better and more natural.
Yeah, and I think the key there is when you utilize the power of people, they have their own devices. They're from their own IP addresses. I mean, Google, there's an article I read, I can't recall who posted it, if it's Search Engine Land or one of the search engine sites, that they were talking about how Google is so intelligent that within a click they know if you're a bot or a real person. So they can tell. I mean, they know what we can create and manufacture. So even if you don't pay people, use your Facebook fans, use your community, use your list. Instead of having them click on a link, tell them to Google search or go to YouTube and search. And then click.
And I think, you know, I would be willing to bet that a lot of their knowledge of people that are, you know, using bots and things has to do with the way text is typed in, you know, because most people don't type in text absolutely perfectly in the exact same space of time for every letter, you know, that kind of a thing. And so it doesn't feel very organic when they're typing, and I'm sure that's a red flag. You know, just little things that you wouldn't think. Now, there might be people at Google who would listen to this and just be laughing, going, "Oh man, these people think we're like out of some spy movie." But you never know, right? I mean, it certainly, that's their job. That's what they do. They can make billions of dollars, and their job is to make sure people aren't gaming the system. So I wouldn't be surprised if any of those types of things actually can throw up a red flag pretty quickly.
Absolutely. So that's why build a proper foundation and then focus your efforts on getting people to search and click. Utilize your community, your friends and family members, your list, you know, offline promotions. I mean, it's really the ingredient that you need to have in place in order to get your content, your website, your videos, anything to rank and to rank fast.
Yeah, and as a matter of fact, you know, our Facebook group, the original purpose of that Facebook group wasn't necessarily to ask each other questions and to, you know, provide help with this and that and everything. Originally, it was actually for sharing videos, so that you'd have a group of people that would go and watch your videos. And one of the things that we've suggested a few times in there is, hey, don't just say, here's my video, go watch it. You know, hey, search this term, find my video, and then watch it, you know.
Yeah.
Which most of us still don't do very often, but really that's where we should be going with that.
Absolutely. Have them search it, have them find your video and click on it. Because the way that, if you had 100 people in your group and each of them perform that search, they're going to search it in a different way. They're going to scroll and do different activities on the search results. And then when they click it, they're also going to do different things on the page itself. That's the key.
Yeah, and when you say page now, because you know you're the master of this, and I still consider myself a novice, cursory knowledge of this part of things. But when you say that, you know, when they're searching, let's say they're searching, how to build a snowman, and you've got a video that's at the bottom of page 1, should they be clicking on other things in that search before going to your snowman video, or should they go straight to your snowman video?
Depending on how competitive the niche is, what you're trying to accomplish, the answer is yes and no.
Okay.
And that's why they just have to buy the course.
Of course, it's not done yet, so
no.
We still got.
Was that too forward?
No, not necessarily. I'm sure that.
That's okay. Ray's wife thinks this is an infomercial anyhow. So.
But no. By the way, we're only going to teach 50 students. So.
Yeah, you want to get folks in there that.
Well, and there's a lot of reasons for that. We want to keep it small for 2 reasons. One, so that we can really make sure that everybody understands exactly how to do this and what we're doing. But the other thing is too, we don't want 5,000 people going out and doing this all at the same time, because
you also want people to have the skills to do it.
Yeah, but you just don't want 2,000, 5,000 people going out there doing this and making it seem like, oh, gee, something's going on here. All of a sudden, all these people are doing this same thing. You just
imagine the power of having 50 heads are better than 2 usually, and the fact that you can have data sharing across 50 channels, if you will. You can have 50 different points of view, and then also combining each other's communities. I mean, we have our own research firm, internet research firm that we've built, where we have thousands of workers in the United States as well as across the seas that are able to earn extra money by providing opinions, real information, real feedback. So, I always thought it was kind of silly when people had this idea of, hey, throw up a landing page and send traffic to it, just buy traffic, and to test your offer. And I thought, well, why don't you just get, 200-300 of your ideal clients and ask them, have them go visit the site and just ask them instead of throwing traffic and looking at the metrics. Why don't you just get real people's feedback? Ask them these types of questions. So we've built that research firm specifically for that. And there's the side benefits, of course, of when. The basic idea is Mary Stewart in Omaha, Nebraska, searches that keyword, finds the video or the website for that matter, clicks on it, and then provides feedback on what she thought of the website or the video. Mm-hmm. So you're killing 2 birds with one stone. You're getting the search, you're getting the clicks, you're getting the watch, you're getting the on-page time, and you're getting feedback on what people thought about it. I hated the color green mixed with the color purple, whatever it happens to be. Oh, yeah, it's big, man. It's converting information. And it's interesting what people really do think about your website or about your video. There's some great feedback, powerful stuff.
Now, another thing about all this that we kind of briefly glossed over it near the beginning of this, but this is also a big part of this, is that by doing exactly what we're doing to rank on page 1 and to get the feedback, is also doing something else very important in both the YouTube search engine, the Google search engine, or even any other search engine, really. I mean, the Amazon search engine, even the iTunes search engine, is you're building up that potential for being the auto-suggested term. Is that fair to say?
Yeah. Once your brand has the authority, that's how it works nowadays. Is in the auto-suggest, and regardless of what engine you're in, the way that the system is built is to display not only what the most relevant queries are for the query that you're typing in, but what is the most trusted, proven phrases. And most of them display brands first. And the only way to become a brand in Google's eyes is to be vetted out. And the way to be vetted out is through their bounce process. So there's still plenty of opportunities to influence the auto-suggestion. Each channel is unique. Each has its own quirks, but it isn't what it was 7-8 months ago, which was sending enough people just to search and click on things. So the game has changed, But the power of it still remains the same. Being able to see your brand before any other competitors in that drop-down, it's awesome.
Absolutely, and that actually is one of those things that, and I've told this story before in different situations, but that actually came by accident. And in fact, you know the story because it was actually you that took this phone call, but you know the story of the Ogden massage and how that came about. So why don't you tell everybody how that happened and why that why this became such an obsession and is so effective, or that we know that it's effective.
So that happened about 7 years ago now. Can you believe that?
No way. Was it really?
Yeah. 7 years ago. So we were working on a client's campaign, and it was about 6 months, or not 6 months, about 3 months into her 6-month campaign, and we haven't had any first page rankings, any results or anything. And then one day she just called me up and said, "Hey, whatever you're doing, it's working. My phone's just ringing off the hook. Thank you so much." And then I took all the credit, as I normally would, and said, "Yeah, absolutely, that's just our mad skills." As soon as I hung up the phone, sure enough, went and searched. Didn't see her on page 1 for her keywords, but as I started searching, I noticed her brand in the drop-down. As soon as I clicked that name, that her brand in the drop-down,
the whole page.
Sure enough, the whole page was hers, not, all kinds of web assets. So we spent years trying to reverse engineer it, found a formula that worked, and used it for quite some time, and then started promoting it to some resellers last year, I think, around this time, and just took off. Absolutely blew up, and it's still very effective in all the other channels. We're still able to influence the auto-suggest within 1 to 10 days in all the other channels except for Google. Google dried up last year in around June, not only for us, but also all of our copycat competition. I call them CCs. And like I was saying earlier, I spent the last 6 months going through and obsessing over it, looking at all of our data, testing, tweaking. We started getting some results. As soon as we got those results, we continued to analyze the data, run them again, and sure enough, this month we finally cracked it again, once and for all. It's the last time I'm going to chase them. But the elements that are in play now that make it effective are long-lasting, because beforehand it was simple. It was patterns. It was just run searches, having them click, use a lot of people, overpower the system. It's not the case anymore. It's a lot less effort in terms of people power, but a lot more complicated.
Yeah,
yes.
More complex, but less people needed.
Yes. So, but it's fun. I've learned so much during that time as to why people are so important to your rankings. And it's still funny. Most of the community just doesn't accept it yet. We've been able to take websites that have been de-indexed, that have penalties, bring them back to life with people, no content, no backlinks, no removing of those links. The bounce effect, the Google bounce effect that I've been talking about is so powerful. The way that we do it, as Google starts to bounce your website, it only takes 1 or 2 people as Google bounces your website to actually get clicks. When they get clicked, then Google continues to verify. So I have a case study, which I call that process the zombie effect, because there's a website I did a case study for Digital Marketer, and this website was a makeup tutorial site. No links, no links, brand new website. The client was creating content, good content, relevant content about makeup tips and things. And they were running a Pinterest campaign. That's it. No backlinks, no paid ads. We come in to influence the auto-suggest. We start creating buzz. Google starts testing the site's authority by bouncing. And this was during September. Well, you can imagine what people searched for in October regarding makeup tips. So Google starts testing makeup tips, eye makeup tips, brown eye makeup tips, zombie makeup tips. All of a sudden, one article on this site that had a killer headline, 12 really awesome zombie makeup tips tutorial. Google bounces their website for cute zombie makeup. Zombie makeup. Sure enough, all these phrases that they're bouncing for, people click, come to the site naturally. Next thing you know, over that entire 30-day period in October, Google has bounced their website for over 300 search queries, and I think it was 272 of those search queries were clicked on. So they are now ranking for all kinds of first-page national rankings for zombie makeup tips keywords.
And it wasn't even an intentional thing to go after at the time, which is kind of funny. But
no, so that's an example of how content can go viral. It's because if people create the buzz, then Google tries to verify, if people are really searching for makeup tips, then they would also be interested in this website for related phrases like eye makeup tips. You see what I mean? So the same thing occurs with YouTube videos and with any other web property. It's going to get tested, but the key ingredient to creating that buzz and kickstarting that whole bounce process is with people. Don't believe me? Go into your Google Analytics, your Google Webmaster Tools, and look underneath search queries. You'll see a pattern there.
Oh, absolutely, and you showed that.
Or you could just buy our course for $10,000, and I'll show you exactly how.
Yeah. There you go.
A little forward.
That's good. That's juicing people up, and then they go, "Oh, I better save $10,000." Then when we give them the real price, they'll think it's great. So.
Yeah.
No, that's wonderful. So I really appreciate that. So what does this mean? Like we did a webinar with Jack Hoffman a couple weeks ago, and we didn't quite get into all of this stuff, but we did talk a lot about why some of the traditional SEO stuff isn't really what it's cracked up to be. And one of the big examples was imagine a franchise, and this franchise is in 10 cities, and they've got the exact same website in all 10 cities, except it says a different city name. Why aren't these guys killed for duplicate content? That's what people are always worried about, duplicate content. What do you have to say about that in regards to just in general, and then in regards to some of these techniques?
So my comment to it is always go to the data. If you're not tracking and measuring, then you have no way to know for sure. Take what people say online, take it and then verify it yourself. Marketing's all about testing. It's all about testing and tracking. And if you're not doing that, then you really have no clue as to what really works. So in my experience, I can speak for my experience only, on all of the campaigns, again, over 4,000 campaigns we ran, Google's ranking factors, they know what we can manufacture. They know we can create websites, private blog networks, backlinks, any type of automated social sharing, automation software, anything like that. They know we can manufacture it. That's why they've put 80 to 90% of the ranking factor on what is a keyword phrase and what are people doing and where are they clicking.
Right.
And to them, it's like if you have duplicate content, in my opinion, that's same content on your website over and over and over again, but you're still getting people to come there, real people from real devices, they're still going to rank you.
Right.
Because the information in their eyes is getting consumed. You're a good contributor to their community.
And the thing about this, too, that people need to realize is that this is a lot less or a lot more difficult to mock with machinery, because we're talking about people that are logged into Google accounts, so if 8,000 brand new Google accounts with no history whatsoever suddenly do these things, they're probably going to catch on to that. But when it's people in different parts of the country, different, that have been to many sites, they've left reviews on this, they've been here, they've searched this, they've played Angry Birds, whatever it happens to be, they know that it's a real person. And I think that's where a lot of it comes from is, and I think, Corey and I used to talk about this when we used to do a lot of the local, go to some of these local business things and talk, is, they're collecting data on people for a reason, because it's all about real people. And if you got a brand new Google account, you don't have a picture, and you've never clicked on anything in your life, they know it's a fake account used specifically for clicking on links or what have you. But
you're okay. But you're okay even if you have a brand new account, because what they would look at is your IP, your MAC address, those types of things. So,
yeah, as long as it's not, hey, this website gets exactly 10,000 clicks all around the same time, and every single one of the people was brand new with no, online history at all. That's where I think the trouble comes in. Absolutely.
So, and then lastly, because I know we're probably close out to almost out of time, is, I get asked all the time, well, what about crowdsourcing sites? What about sites where, like Short Task or Crowdflower or some of those things? And the best thing that you can do is build your own community of real people. I think the future of online marketing is going to be, instead of private blog networks, the private people network. Crowdsourcing sites,
a lot of those people are cheating. A lot of those people are using technology to do what they're supposed to be doing. I think
about 50% to 60% of the jobs that you open will be fraud. People won't actually do the work. So it's not something that I would recommend you investing your time into. Like, just start building up your community. Use the people on your list. That's the best way for you to go in the long run. That's all I have to say about that.
I know there's some people going, but wait a minute, we were just told last year to use those sites for this.
Yep, and then
it was very.
I'll probably say to go back.
Yeah, and it still is very effective. It still does work. You just have to be careful. And what I've been telling people lately is, if you're using that, and once we release our course and get into this detail, you're going to do things differently anyway. And that's not to say, oh, don't do that now, because it can be effective. But one thing to tell people to do is leave a comment on that video with a keyword, that is a word. So when you go in there, you can make sure that an actual person went and did that, because they would have had to put that word in the comment box.
But Mr. Ray, we're not going to do that.
No, but if you're using...
That's a pattern, my friend.
Well, it is, but if you're using the crowdsource right now and you're worried about people cheating you, that is one way to get around it, is people have to post a unique comment.
But I got a better Ray. I got a better way. I love you, wrong time. No, I got a better way for you to do that, because eventually everyone's now going to go out and they're going to do that, and Google is going to see that all these people leave a specific keyword. So random. So we've got some fantastic templates for you to use when it comes to that. I don't want to take away. Ray's still the man when it comes to that stuff. I know nothing.
No, because this is, and I don't want anybody to get it wrong. You still, and you correct me if you disagree with this, you still need to do all the right things. You still need to follow the proper, get the right keyword. You still need to put it in your titles, your tags, your descriptions. You still need to get your video out there, share it on your social media, run it through OnlyWire. All that stuff is still things you need to do. It's still great. It still works. This is,
rocket fuel.
Yeah, it really is, and especially if it's a difficult keyword. Because I did a video the other day, and it was I can't remember what the heck it was now, but I put it out there for a specific purpose, and I was going to show something. And it ranked on page 1 in 5 minutes again, like it used to. And I didn't do all those extra things. I think I ran it. I don't even think I ran it through OnlyWire. I think I just title tagged it, described it right, put it in Pingler, and oh look, it's already on page 1. So for a lot of the simpler keywords, the basics will still work. But when you get into, something more difficult, it's not going to work like that. So you have to do all these extra things to really boost that up there. And I know that's where people get into a lot of, issues and trouble is, I can't rank for, Philadelphia dentist. I'm always stuck on page 3 or page 2. Well, this is the kind of thing that really can push that over the edge for you and make a difference. And, and now let me ask you this, though. How quick is it? If I wanted to go for Philadelphia dentist, can I get it up in a day because I do this, or are we talking, a couple weeks?
Well, I think the best way to answer that is with another question. How long is a piece of string?
Well, that's why I specifically said Philadelphia dentist.
I know. That's why you said that. Again, it just all depends on the competition and everything, but it can be something that's very, very quick.
Yes. The answer should be yes. Does it take a couple of days or a month? Yes.
Yes, it does.
Yes.
It takes a couple of days or a month.
Or 2. Yes.
Or 2.
Yes.
But the most important thing is to don't. We're known because of consumer or human behavior, it's our tendencies to overdo things. Like, hey, if you say to only have 10 backlinks or 10 people searching,
I'm going to do 20.
I'm going to do 400. That's not the case. Don't do that.
And that's something that I've always cautioned people against, because I'm sorry, but if you live in, some little town in the middle of Arkansas that has a population of 500, and you put up a video and it gets 10,000 views for dentist in that little tiny town, it doesn't even make sense, because it probably got 5 searches a month and it got 10,000 views in 2 days.
Mm-hmm.
It just doesn't make sense. So you have to think about those types of things. In the old days, you would do that because that would instantly make it work. Just 10,000 views, and it would work. But nowadays, you've really got to think about that. If you've got a term that's 200 searches a month and it gets 500 views in a day, that's kind of a red flag.
Yeah, they're going to want to know why, and they're going to look at it, and they're going to be bouncing.
And I think that would show where the traffic came from would be the big thing on that. Because obviously, if I put up a video for something that wouldn't have a lot of searches normally, and then I mail it to my list, that's legitimate traffic being sent to that in a short period of time. So I'm sure they're going to look at that kind of thing and go, oh, well, okay, these all came from, a link in an AWeber email, that kind of a thing. I'm sure that makes a big difference versus, it all came from, I don't know what it would be, something else, or they typed it in directly, that kind of a thing.
So on the dark side of things, the really fun and awesome thing about keeping track of data is you also know what it takes to
kill something.
Not kill. Make something no longer relevant.
Make their toilet explode.
So it becomes quite fun when you can influence and make your competition relevant for tuna fish sandwiches or other things like that. Or influence search data for a keyword that isn't a converting keyword, and then all of the other agencies out there will see a spike in search volume and the average monthly search volume increasing for a non-converting keyword, and then spend all their PPC and all their efforts trying to rank for a keyword phrase that doesn't convert. It's been manufactured, so that's kind of fun. Not that I would ever do that. I'm just saying that's
kind of like that goes into our other course along with my course called Tube Extortion.
Oh.
That's where you rank a video saying a business sucks, and then you charge them money to delete it.
Oh, you're a bad man. You're a bad man. I don't go that far.
No, I've never done that, just for the record. But I did. I put out a whole thing saying that was my new course, and people are like, "Wow, you probably shouldn't do that." But I did. I put out a whole thing about how what the course was and how it worked.
That's awesome.
People took it very serious and were very worried about this course.
Yeah. So the best way to
don't use your powers for evil.
That's right.
Always stay positive. But
not always. If they deserve a negative video, then feel free. But
Hey, there's agencies out there that play dirty. They do click fraud and all other kinds of things. And so when you're playing in the big league, sometimes you have to do some things to shut them up. So the best way to shut up your competition is to make them relevant for other things. Don't try to tank their website with negative SEO or anything like that. Just optimize their brand and their keywords, or their brand for other keywords.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Like exploding toilets.
Yeah. And that's actually comes from why it becomes challenging for a plumber to rank for plumbing and HVAC. It's two different things.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Google has a bucket of over 800 keywords that are plumber related and over 800 keywords for HVAC. And so they want experts. So you're never going to get the same website to rank, 90% of the time for both categories, for both industries.
At least not without a lot of work and a lot of money.
Yeah.
Or a very small town, which might be the situation. But so what do you recommend? Just two different websites in a case like that?
What I recommend to some of our clients, in my experience, is to go with whatever service is your bread and butter, whatever service you already are branded in the Google community, and then work at your database.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't spend time monetizing their database. I mean, that's gold.
Well, like they say, there's three ways to make money, two of which are dealing with people you already have. So that should mean you should probably spend twice as much time with the people you've already got.
It's so easy. Your receptionist is sitting there, business is slow. Have him or her call up your past clients, say, hey, it's been a while since we last provided you this service. We wanted to see how you were doing. Oh, by the way, over the next couple of months, we typically get a lot of calls for the following. I just wanted to know if you or your friends are experiencing or have experienced these types of things. If not, no, great. Well,
that goes back to the pizza parlor story I've told a few times, and had to do with a marketer who goes to a pizza parlor to help them to increase sales. And he gets there, and the first thing he says is, well, do you have a computer system where you do all your orders? Yes. Are all your customers in there with their phone numbers? Yes. Okay, pick up the phone, start calling.
Yeah, that's it.
And they looked at him like he had five heads. He's like, what are you talking? Because obviously pizza parlors don't pick up the phone and call customers. Customers call and order a pizza. Well, he had them sit there and call customers and say, hey, I just wanted to let you know we're doing a special with this tonight. Yeah. And wouldn't you know it, it was their biggest sales night ever, because they reached out and did that. Now, of course, in a pizza parlor, you probably don't want to do that every single night. But you probably want to do that quite a bit and have a few of those big nights, or call a small portion of your list every single day, and just a different portion of the list every day in order.
But what you're talking about is just, man, you've already spent the money to get them as a customer. Call them up and check in on them.
Right, and like I said,
appreciate that. Don't call them and be salesy.
There's three ways to make more money. You sell to more people, or you sell more of a product to the people you already have, or you get them to, order more, different products that you have, the same people.
Yeah. Or number four is buy your course.
There you go. Invest.
But I think the end point that we're trying to make here is that you can know all these cool tactics, but if you're not providing a valuable result and setting the proper expectations to your clients, it's kind of pointless. So
absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And I've seen that many times. For one of my courses, which dealt with using video for list building, I used what I taught in there to build a list. And my sole purpose was to build the list. It wasn't to make money. And of course, so then it worked. I built this pretty good list in just a couple of days, and then I'm like, well, now I have nothing to sell them, So you got to have a plan. Otherwise, now in that case, it didn't really matter. My whole goal was just a proof of concept that we could build a list.
Right.
And now I've monetized it a little bit here and there and added things to it. But the point being is, there wasn't a plan behind it to actually do anything with that. So you need to have a plan for that. Otherwise, the list is useless unless you sell it to somebody else.
Right.
So
Absolutely. Well, gents, this has been fun.
It's been real.
A lot of fun. It's been real. It's been fun.
It has not been real fun.
No, we appreciate you taking a few minutes out of your day. Now you got to get back to work because we got to finish this course. And no, we do appreciate you coming out here and talking to us about this, because it's the way things are going. And like I said, we've had a couple guests over the last couple months that have at least touched on this exact thing.
Yeah.
The idea of the crowd search and people being the next big thing. And we've seen some people put out products and things like that regarding that, including me last year, back when, I don't think anybody was talking about it back when that came out. It was very unique, which came from you. That portion of it did come from you. So, and very, very effective stuff. So there you go. That's Will Pettet. Will, how can people learn more about you? I know you don't want people to learn much about you, but...
No, they can call you.
All right. Will
I like to stay in the back.
Will likes to stay in the background. So if you have questions about these types of things, you can just ask me. And even if I don't totally know the insides and the tech insides of it, I certainly...
And you can ask Steve.
If you're going to call Will, make sure it's at home, 3 a.m., his home
Absolutely.
number.
Absolutely.
Yes, and I will give you my phone number. And Steve, what is your phone number?
It's 402-555-1212.
Awesome.
Nice. There we go.
If you have any questions, feel free to touch base with Ray.
Yeah, just go to the Facebook group, as we always say. We love that. Facebook.com/groups/online video marketers or /groups/offline marketers. In local business stuff. So there you go.
If you go into the mastermind group and just tag Ray, he'll get back to you.
Yeah, it's funny because it happened again today. Somebody sent me a message like that, and they're like, I sent an email, but I didn't hear back from you, so I wondered if I could get you here. I'm like, yes, this is the place to get me, because chances are, with the 8,000 emails that come in, I'm going to miss your email.
I've had people leave messages on the radio show fan page.
Oh yeah, absolutely,
gotten back.
Absolutely. So, and that's perfectly fine. I love the communication system inside of Facebook, because it pops up on my phone and I can do it pretty quick, and there's not spam, and it just makes life a lot easier. So you can post things in the group and tag me. You can send me messages directly. Go right in there, befriend me. I've still got some space to add friends, so feel free. Well, it works.
Absolutely.
I don't have any friends.
Neither do I. That's why I have space for her.
Okay.
So there's a program called Crowdsourcing for Friendship. I'll get you that, Ray.
There we go.
I need it too.
$9.95 as
I bought all my Facebook friends.
There you go.
I'm joking. But
halfway.
No, I'm not. Okay. Well, hey, Will, thanks. If you got to split,
thanks, guys.
If you got to go, that's fine. If not, we're going to do tip of the week.
Yes, tip of the week.
Right? I'll log off.
Okay.
Right.
But you guys
thanks
get
for joining us.
Okay.
Yeah, I appreciate it, guys. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Will.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Yeah. I know. Will's always got more on his plate than he can get to.
Yes, me too. I know how he feels.
Yeah. So, except I can get a hold of you. I could never get a hold. Well, I eventually did. It took a couple of days. Okay. All right. Let's do it. And let's go for it. Tip of the week with Ray, the video guy.
Yes, tip of the week. For those of you who are always looking for photography to use in your websites and in your videos and things of that nature, there is a website, believe it or not, where you can find some pretty decent stock photography that is perfectly legal to be used in your projects. And that site is called Pixabay. And it's Pixabay. And if you've never heard of Pixabay, well, you should check it out, because it is pretty darn cool. It's at pixabay.com, pixabay.com. And it just has free images that you can use that people have released to the public on there.
Wow.
Check them out. Some of the pictures do have certain restrictions and things like that, but for the most part, they are free. And the great thing is, if you have a product like Instabuilder 2, you can actually integrate your Pixabay account into that. So while you're creating your websites, you can actually just hit search, put in a keyword, and it'll pull up images that you can use in your website right from Pixabay. So it's a brilliant integration there and a great website to check out. Easy way to get content for your websites and your videos and your presentations and whatever else you happen to be doing. So check that out, Pixabay.com.
Pixabay.
That is correct.
And we'll have that in the show notes, too.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's a great one. Thanks. Yeah.
You bet.
Well, I think that's the wrap on another show. Good stuff from Will.
It certainly is. And, of course, we will be here back next week at 2 p.m. Eastern, same bat time, same bat channel, for another episode of Video Marketing Madness.
It's the online marketing radio show, Video Marketing Madness, with Ray the Video Guy. I'm Steve Sleeper. Our guest today has been an old friend of the show, although he never listens to it. Will I am.
Listening now.
Yeah, he's probably not listening now. Will Pettet. Today's show made possible by?
Made possible by Member Deliver. And if you're not sure what that is, Member Deliver is a program. Well, I don't know if a program is the right word. It's a service, really, that allows you to create membership sites and training sites in literally just a couple minutes. And yesterday, just to kind of talk about this a little bit, yesterday when I first picked up this program, I installed it. Well, you don't really install. You create your account and you put in some information and things. You get it all prepped up. And I decided to take one of my products that already exists, which is YouTube Interactive, and literally at the touch of a button, it pulled in all the videos, created modules out of each of the videos, so pages for that video, put it all together, and it was ready to go in literally 2 minutes. Now, if you know anything about membership sites, and if you're as technically not great like I am, I've put together membership sites using other programs on my WordPress site, and it is so frustrating, so difficult. It takes me days, sometimes weeks to get it all right, and then, of course, once you get it right, then your site's too slow and because it's on your hosting, and all your other sites that are there are too slow, and so it's just a nightmare. This takes that all away. They host it, for the same price. They host all of your membership pages. You host your videos just like you would normally, which is on YouTube or on Amazon S3 or wherever it happens to be. And if it's on S3, you connect your S3 account. So you put your videos in a folder on S3. You choose the folder inside of S3, or the bucket as they like to call it. Hit one button, and it builds the whole site instantly. Then you can go back and you can add, little tweaks and things like that, like banner ads or banner graphics and, text that you want to put in underneath the videos or what have you. But you can build these membership sites literally in minutes. And I even did a little video about it, which you can see at the bottom of the page that I created for it, which is at raysbonuses.com/memberdeliver.
Cool. That's impressive.
Oh, it's there's a lot of products that are pretty good. There's a lot of products that are great. And then there are the few products where you go, wow. And honestly, for me, because of the frustrations I've had in the past, this was one of those programs where I just said, wow. Kind of like when I got InstaBuilder.
Yeah.
It changed. It literally is going to change everything that I do. So I can't. It sounds like hype. I'm not trying to hype this. This is really how I feel about this program. Until something bad happens, and then I'll tell you any different. But as of right now, I'm really, really impressed with this.
Cool. Yeah, you can also like our Facebook page. There's a couple of them. There's the radio shows, which is facebook.com/Video Marketing Madness, and we put in all the news of the week stories there, plus some other stuff that isn't necessarily news of the week. That's good how-tos, and then. Ray's Facebook Mastermind group is groups/online video marketers. Get views for your videos. Ask people for favors, like to Google it, like we were talking about, kind of the crowd sourcing or the people power thing.
People power.
People power to the people. Sounds like a 60s thing, but and it was up with people.
Yep.
Up with people. But that's a good mastermind group, and there are a lot of folks in there and good community.
It is. Very, very good community.
So, okay, cool.
All right. Well, there you go. It's another one down on the record book.
Did you say you had an offline one, too?
Yes, there is one for video people that were more specifically for offline stuff. And that's mostly for anybody can go there. You can do the same things. You can post videos, and we'll share videos and things like that. But it was that one was made when I released my offline video course, so that people could ask questions specifically about that as well. Okay. And then that way it wasn't, the one place wasn't getting inundated with both things going on at the same time. But in reality, we probably should have just stuck with one.
Yeah. Okay. No, I think that one is probably there somewhere in my list on Facebook. So. Okay.
All right.
There we go. That's a wrap for today's show, and we'll be back next Wednesday, as we are every Wednesday at 2:00. And let's write it out with the jingle, and we'll
absolutely.
Come on, now, jingle. There we go.
He's Ray the video guy. Yeah, Ray the video guy. His skill is where it's at. Even if he's a little fat, he's filled with video expertise and has so much knowledge that you need. His YouTube ninja tricks can make your marketing so sick. He's Ray the video guy. Yeah, Ray the video guy.